I'm James, I'm the Sales Director at Artemis Marketing. I'm joined by Justin today, who is our Technical and Research Director. And whilst our clients here at Artemis will vary obviously in what they do, there are some similarities in that some will effectively be trying to drive customers through their front door, or will be trying to book appointments, whilst others will be selling online via their e-commerce platforms. But equally, we'll have clients who will be service or product based. So today we're just going to discuss a couple of examples of those and some of their successes that we've helped them achieve. So whilst, as I said earlier, some clients will obviously want you to come through their front door or will effectively want to come out and visit you, there's obviously a lot of businesses out there who want to sell online and need to sell online. So have you got an example of an e-commerce company that we've dealt with from an SEO perspective?
Yeah, I mean, we have several clients that are e-commerce clients, and we've dealt with lots of e-commerce businesses over the years. And it's definitely an increasingly competitive area. Everyone wants to sell online. Yeah. And so as an example, we've been working with a particular clothing company for several years now. And they approached us. They were using a platform called Magento, which is less used these days. A lot of websites tend to use Shopify and stuff like that because it's just a bit easier to do, and WooCommerce. But anyway, Magento is a complex platform. And they built quite a significant business on this Magento platform, and they're very well known, so I can't say their name, but they're very well known in the industry. And but they called us in because they felt that they could do more with the website. And that was one of those where, maybe because I've been doing it for so long, you know, when you just look at it and you go, oh, okay, I can see what you're doing wrong here. So we met with them, we sat down with them, we said, okay, so basically your website is just not very effectively set up for search, because they were very successful in social media. Okay. So a lot of their traffic and a lot of their sales were just coming through their social activities, which for me is always fascinating because I don't really like social media. So it's fascinating to see how it can work and how powerful that can be. But it's not very stable, social media. So unless you're on it every day, constantly, it's very tough. Yep. So they wanted some stability to the business, and that's why they were asking about what should they do with the website from an SEO perspective. And they felt they'd done quite a good job with it. And obviously we came along and went, well, you haven't. Because what they'd done with the website is that they hadn't very effectively targeted all the different types of clothing that they could sell. So they hadn't presented it to the search engines in a way where it would be able to rank it for people searching for these types of clothes, you know, jumpers, trousers, jeans, and all this sort of stuff. And so, although it sounds obvious when I tell you that, you know, it wasn't obvious to them, and maybe other people looking at it wouldn't spot that actually the setup isn't correct. And so with a lot of e-commerce websites, technically and structurally getting those websites right, if you don't do that from day one, it's just not going to work. Yep. And you're going to have a lot of problems. And that's the problem they had.
Okay. And talk me through kind of their journey with utilising us to carry out the SEO.
Yeah, so they were one of those clients that were a little bit untrusting. Okay. So they're like, we don't like SEOs. You know, we don't like SEO companies and agencies because they tend to shaft us. That was sort of their feedback, but we'll give you a go. Okay. And so we worked with them and their developers to put the website in the structure that it needed to be. And because they also wanted to target the US. So we said, okay, one of our big specialities is international targeting of websites. So we helped them sort out the mess they had in the UK and then be able to target abroad as well into the US. We did a really, really good job. I'm not just saying that. We did a really good job. In fact, we did such a good job with them that they actually got bought out by a very big retailer in the UK, which they were obviously very happy about. And all of that was really down to the success that they'd had with organic search. Yep. So, because they were already quite successful in social media, the organic search then, because their website was relatively strong, but they just hadn't done a very good job technically with it, when we allowed it to rank well and we set it up how Google wants it to work, so that it actually, it can be served up for all the different search terms that are relevant. So it generated a huge amount of traffic, and the sales just,
Amazing.
took off, and they sold.
Yeah.
And it was happy days.
Nice, excellent. And was that kind of the end of the story, kind of at that point, or?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
Because, well, unfortunately for them, because when they got bought out, there was an agreement there where they sort of stayed on, and the company that bought them had their own SEO agency. So we got dropped at that point.
Okay.
And their internal SEO then sort of migrated everything and basically undid everything that we did.
Okay.
And they lost half the traffic and half the sales in the space of like a month.
Wow.
And they weren't able to recover it. So a year and a half later, they wanted to extract themselves from that relationship. And they got back in touch with us and they said, we need your help.
Yeah.
We've lost half the traffic and we're exiting this merger that we did. So we need your help to get us back on track. And at that point then they were changing platform again. So they'd gone from Magento to the other company's internal platform, and then they were moving into Shopify, which has its challenges. So Shopify is a bit of a closed shop, so it brings about certain challenges. Magento, which they had previously, is very flexible. You can do lots and lots of things with it. Shopify, a little bit more restricted. But we've had a very good, successful recovery since they came back to us. One of the things that we've done for a very, very long time is that especially we call them website migrations, where you're changing the design of the website, or you're changing the domain or something. These are critical moments because you can easily break what's working by changing how the website looks, how it feels, how the navigation, all these things. Once Google learns your website and then you undo it, it's as if you're coming into the office, and normally your office is at the end of it, your own office, and you go there and it's like, oh no, it's moved, but nobody's told you it's moved.
Yeah.
The same with search, oh, well, nobody told me, now my office is over here. So there's lots of things that have to happen for a web migration to be successful. So since this client's come back to us, we've helped them to not only recover their UK traffic and the US traffic, but expand into other markets as well.
Fantastic. So that's an area we can assist clients with. So at what point should they have a conversation with an SEO company? Is it at the point where the website's about to move, or is it in advance of that?
Yeah, it's a really good question, because really, as soon as they're thinking about it, they need to get in touch.
Okay.
We have helped so many businesses that have lost everything overnight when they've switched from one website to another. And there's lots of cases. I'm not just saying that. People can look at it online and just Google, bad website migrations, and they're going to see all sorts of horror stories. It happens all the time. It's really common. And no disrespect to web developers and web designers, they're focusing on one thing. They're not thinking always how it's going to impact the traffic and how that website appears to search. So a big part of what we do is helping businesses do a migration that's successful. So it limits any negative loss, issues in terms of search, and hopefully the new changes will help benefit it and help it to grow in search instead of going the other way.